talk about it. Hello, hello, and thank you for tuning in to the third episode of my podcast. Let's talk about it. My name is Monty J, and today we are reviewing slash reacting to the third episode of Batman, the Cape Crusader. And this episode is called Kiss of the Catwoman. All right, so let's get started. So, with this third episode of Batman the Cape Crusader, again, the episode is called Kiss of the Catwoman, where we will be meeting Miss Selena Kyle. The episode starts off with Bruce. He's at the Gotham Museum, and again, he's wearing his his very nice, dapper looking beige suit. I personally really love this suit. I think he looks really good. So he's eyeing a very nice, fancy pearl necklace. And this necklace in this collection, actually, it's a pearl necklace and there are some rings, and it's labeled as the Wayne Collection, which are his mother's pearls, the necklace that she was wearing when that thief murdered her and her husband. So Bruce is looking at this collection, and a woman approaches him. And so she approaches him, and she's flirting, and Bruce is flirting back. He clocks her tea. He goes, he knows exactly who she is, and he's like, I heard some things tend to go missing around you, Miss Kyle. And Selena, she has no shame, and she replies with, she likes nice things, and these nice things accidentally end up in my purse. But those are just rumors, and at the end of the day, I mean, everybody has gone to jail. Everybody has a little history, a little criminal history. Not everybody, Miss Selena. So now Selena is shooting her shot at Bruce. She's telling him how, you should take me out. I love nice things and I like you. And we have a lot of things in common, by being orphans. And with no hesitation, Bruce says, look, your dad is in jail for tax fraud and my parents were murdered. We are not the same. And Selena lets him know like she's nothing like the other women that he dates. Like, I'm not like the other hoes. You need to come my way. Come swing my way. Now, as they're flirting, they're going back and forth. They're kikiing with each other, and you hear a photographer on the side of them where Bruce is still standing, and he's looking at the Wayne collection. He goes, "Who the hell wears pearls like that in a crime alley, where in the ghetto, basically?" And Bruce is still standing right there. And the photographer continues talking, and he goes, "What do you expect, lady? It's the East End." And then, boom, Bruce socks the fuck out of this man in the face. And another photographer captures a photo as Bruce punches the man in the face. So after this happens, we see Bruce in an office, and he's sitting in front of a therapist. And this therapist, which is Dr. Quinzel, that's her name, Dr. Quinzel. If you know algebra, anything about algebra, one plus one, easy basic math, then you know exactly who that is. So he's sitting in front of Dr. Quinzel. Bruce is very calm. He's explaining the situation that just happened at Gotham Museum, um, telling her like, it's nothing, like he was being super disrespectful. And, a part of, Bruce is now facing a felony assault. He just socked this man in public. And a part of him not doing any jail time is 3 weeks of therapy. So his therapist, Dr. Quinzel, is speaking, and we can already hear her accent kind of coming through. And she says to Bruce, she says, all you have to do is a few weeks of therapy. Easy as a pie, hun. Easy as a pie, hun. If that's not Harley Quinn, then who is it? So, Dr. Quinzel is our Harley Quinn in the Cape Crusader. She doesn't look anything like what we're used to. She's not this blonde woman. You know, she's not the same woman that we love. She's a Harley variant. So she encourages Bruce to take his time with therapy. Due to him literally crashing out on this photographer, she then makes it clear that he has repressed trauma. And Bruce's response to that is, like, look, man, the man made a joke about my mama, so I had to pop that bitch in the face. Bitch don't play in my face about my parents. And then he tells her, like, I'm grown. I'm good. I was just defending my mother's name. This scene of Bruce in a therapist's office, we see him in the back of his car being chauffeured around by Alfred, and he's going through a file, and the file has his name on it, and every sheet of paper in this file is blank. Um, Basically, his therapist, it's the files that it's supposed to be the notes that his therapist, Dr. Quinzel, was taking during their therapy session, but every sheet of paper is blank. So somehow she knew that he was still the notes from the therapy session. So she just left the sheets blank and she left a sticky note that said, "See you next Tuesday." That sneaky bitch. She's cool already. So now we're at the home of Selena Kyle, and she's surrounded by like some gymnastic awards and like over a dozen sleeping cats. And when she gets up, her maid Greta, who has an attitude and a smart mouth that I can appreciate, I love her. She's already she her character is basically immediately fed up with Selena's bullshit. So she's going through Selena's bills, and they're all like overdue bills. And as she's going through the bills, Selena orders her to put them with the other bills. And the other bills, the Greta throws the bills in a burning fireplace with the other bills. So Selena is just like, fuck these bills, and girl, I'm still in my life. So she throws the Greta, she orders Greta to throw the bills into the fire. So Greta is fed up because the bills are piling up, and the place smells like cat piss, and Selena keeps bringing home stray cats. Plus, she hasn't been paid. And she's telling Selena all of this, like, girl, you need to get your shit together because you keep bringing home these cats. The bills are piling up, and we're getting notices to get the fuck out. So what the hell is going on? So Selena then assures her, like, calm down, don't worry about nothing. I'll figure all of this out. So as she's saying this, she's going through the newspaper and she comes across an article of Batman, which gives her an idea. Then the next scene is her wearing her original Catwoman outfit, which is basically a gown with a cape on it. It's a purple gown and with a cape on it, and she's wearing her cat mask, of course. So immediately after wearing this outfit and trying this on and being inspired by being a vigilant of Gotham City, um, she starts jewelry robbing, thievery, like all this shit. So immediately she starts robbing every single jewelry store in Gotham City. It's now there's like a classic newspaper sequence, with the spinning newspaper. So it's all over the papers. Five jewelry heists in 3 days. This bitch is crazy. The front papers read, "Cat burglar strikes again." Then the next thing shows her in like a jewelry store, and she has her ear up to like a jewelry case, and she's like a what is it? A safe. So she's unlocking the safe, and as she's like unlocking the safe and she opens it, the cops show up and they shine their flashlights in her face. And again, she opened up the case already before they even shot the light, and she then already grabbed a necklace. And this is the last thing. She drops one more piece of jewelry in her bag and dips. She jumps out of the closest window. When she runs into those shitty ass cops, Bullock and Flash, she kicks the shit out of both of them and starts running through an alley where she bumps into Batman. Batman then corners her into the alley and um, starts to ask her, like, who are you? And she lets him know, like, Catwoman, dear. Then she kicks the shit out of him and runs before Batman. So she runs, and then Batman throws a rope, one of his gadgets. He throws a rope at her that ties around her ankles and around her her upper body, which locks her arms together, and she falls over. And that's just enough time as Bullock and Flash show up. So Batman escapes, and then you have Catwoman in the alley, laying on the ground, tied up, and Detective Bullock and Flash show up, and she's posing, she's giving it to him, and the cops, Bullock and Flash, they're walking her to the back of to the cop car, and they take her mask off, and her identity is now exposed. And they know exactly who she is because she's a known klepto around Gotham City. Then we fade into another scene, and we have a flashback of a slightly younger Alfred driving a young Bruce back home. He basically, we don't know where he's going actually. It's just Alfred and Bruce in the back seat, and they're driving in Gotham City. And we realize it's a flashback, and it's Bruce just looking sad, young Bruce looking sad, and Alfred's looking in the rearview mirror, like, you good, you all right? And then it fades. Basically, we realize it's just a flashback, and it's actually older Bruce, current day, daydreaming during another therapy session with Dr. Quinzel. So tells Bruce, in our last therapy session, I realized that you have been repressing the impact that the death of your parents have had on your life. And you may have been repressing um, your life in other ways. So she says, you've been living in a fantasy world. Your life is basically fake. She didn't exactly say that, but she might as well. And that it's obvious, your fakeness feels like a front, like you putting on the front, like you're lying to the world to repress your feelings. And Bruce is like, look, I can't help that I have an amazing life. Women love me, and my social life is lit. Why are you mad? So Dr. Quinzel was like, yeah, that sounds good, but are you going on second dates with these women? Is, like, your happiness, is any of this genuine? And Bruce is now clearly offended, and he's like, bitch, I'm rich. I literally have nothing to be sad about. And so that's the end of that scene. That's the end of his therapy session. And we now have Selena in court pleading with the judge, putting on a sad ass show. And Harvey Dent is like, I don't know what he's doing. He somehow gets her out of trouble by blaming Batman. I feel like that's what just happened. He's like, you know, she did do all of that. She might have been there, but we don't have any evidence that she was taking the jewelry. And we have been watching Batman, and Batman is actually the bad guy. So we should actually just blame him and let her go because, all the stolen jewelry was returned. And Batman is the actual villain. And Selena, she just got a little klepto problem, but she's good. So that's done. She's out of there. She's free. And what's her name? Barbara Gordon approaches Harvey Dent at the end of this, and she's like, "So when I do it, it's all bad. When I have my clients, you want to send them to jail, but somehow when you're representing the client, you always let them free. What is it about it? Did she donate any money? Did she give you any money? Like why would you let her go?" And Harvey Dent was like, "That bitch is broke. So no, she didn't give me shit. She just a spoiled ass little brat. So she's out of there." Before we get to the next scene, we're seeing some really nice, like some great animation. I'll just say that. I love the Art Deco inspired art that's used for this series. I think it fits the show perfectly. It's like it kind of reminds me of the Great Gatsby, not just because of the era, but just the Art Deco. You just got to see it. Like if you know, you know. All right. So Catwoman is free. Harvey Dent was able to get her out of trouble and she's back on the streets. She's like literally immediately back on her shit, stealing another cat and more jewelry from someone's home. Not a store, but someone's actually home. Someone's actual home. So as she's doing this, she escapes out the window with the cat. She's outside. She's rubbing the cat, whatever, blah blah blah. And Batman catches her on top of the roof and goes after her. So now Batman and Catwoman are running on rooftops. And before you know it, she trips and falls off the building because, running in hills is always a good ass idea. Batman, of course, catches her. He swings over and catches her as she's falling down to the ground. And as they're going down the rope, like fucking Spider Man and Mary Jane, Catwoman kisses him in the most intimate way. They're kissing for a minute before they actually get their feet back on the ground. And when they get on the ground, Batman pushes her off of him and he says, "You're wasting my time." And she then pushes him, and then you see her putting like this ring on her, like three fingers, and the ring is like electricity, and she punches him and stuns him, and she gets away again. Batman falls to the ground, and she gets away, and she hops in her classic purple Catmobile. So before they reveal the car is like in the shadows, and you just see like the eyes of the cars, the headlights, and they look like cat eyes, and it makes like a panther sound like wow. And she gets in the Catmobile and she gets away again. So Bullock and Flash they get a head up on Selena, and then this is the next day they get a head up on Selena and where she's at, where she lives, and they think they about to kick down the door and smack the chick, but the apartment is empty. Selena then already moved everything out of that apartment and it's completely empty. She moved her, Greta, and the cats to the ghetto, where I think she believes it's the last place they will expect her to be, the ghetto. So Greta should have left a long ass time ago. Now she's also broke and she's cleaning up after Selena and goddamn 20 goddamn cats. So Greta is talking to Selena as she's sweeping up this dusty ass apartment. She's like, "Girl, I'm not finna be doing this shit for too long." And Catwoman again is just telling her like, "Chill the fuck out. I got this." Now we're back at the Batcave, and we see Batman. He's in the Batcave. He's looking at a newspaper. In the newspaper, the headline says, "Cat crime wave continues." So Catwoman, after he done busted her ass is back on the streets, thieving again and stealing cats, and this shit irritates him. And he throws the newspaper across the room. So Alfred is basically like, you need to relax. Let the police take care of her, and then he reminds him that you got other shit to worry about. You got some appointments today. And for whatever, I guess, Alfred saying you got appointments today, that immediately gave Bruce an idea to trap Catwoman to end all of her crimes. So he goes back to the Gotham Museum and he tells the art director, he tells her, like, you need to wrap this shit up because um, that cat lady is on the loose and I would hate for her to take my mother's pearls. So knowing the news of the exhibit closing early, that will only make Catwoman feel like she needs to get out and break into the art museum. Leaving the art museum, he feels like, all right, that's it for today. Alfred reminds him, like, no, 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 you got one more appointment. Actually, you have a therapy session with Dr. Quinzel. And Bruce is hoping it's his last session because when we cut to the scene of Bruce at the therapy session, he's already putting on like this fake act of gratitude. And while Dr. Quinzel is not buying it, she still signs him out of his court ordered therapy sessions before she suggests that he should continue taking therapy serious because she's actually starting to believe that he's this snarky, cocky, wealthy, unemotional man that he presents himself to be. So it's given that she's concerned, like, you're low-key giving piece of shit, you're acting like a piece of shit, but now I'm actually starting to believe it. The episode is moving forward. We get another flashback of a young Bruce. He's it's always a goddamn storm in Gotham City, actually. So he's in bed and he's having nightmares. He's having like a PTSD type of dream about the man who shot his parents, and he can't sleep. So Bruce walks into Alfred's room and Alfred wakes up startled. He's like, "Whoa, Bruce, what the fuck?" And then Bruce is standing at the door and he whispers, he's like, "They're going to pay." And Alfred is like, "What?" "All of them. I'm going to make them pay and you're going to help me." So from there, basically, I'm finna fuck some shit up. Every fucking criminal in Gotham City is gonna pay for what that one fucking man did to my parents. So the next scene we see Bruce is suiting up. He's suiting up to catch Selena, basically. But before he gets to her, he actually runs into a reporter taking photos. He doesn't actually run into a photographer. The photographer is actually um, taking scandalous photos of a cheating councilman, and he's very like excited to get these photos of this man cheating on his wife. This man works for the Gotham newspaper, and Batman startles him, of course, because Batman pops the fuck up on everybody, and he tells him, "I need you to take some photos." And as this is happening, back at the museum, Catwoman is already putting those pearls in her bag, in her on her sneaky shit. And as she's doing this, Batman and the photographer catches her. The photographer is catching the picture, and Batman is creeping up on her. So Batman pops up on her. She's startled. She turns around. She's like, "What the fuck?" So she's just before she gets away, she brings out a whole goddamn Black Panther. Where she got a Black Panther, Gotham Zoo, how she got it out, how was it already trained and cool with her without murdering her, irrelevant. So the Panther and Batman are about to battle it out. They're sizing up each other. Batman throws a tear gas at this Black Panther, and then you just see smoke. And Batman looking like, "Oh shit." The Panther jumps out of the smoke and tackles him down. He's growling in Batman's face while Batman is pinned down, and then the Panther passes out. The Black Panther passes out on top of Batman. So while this is happening, Selena is running through the museum. She's trying to escape, and Bullock and Flash pull up, and both of them are on her ass. So she's running. Flash shoots at her, and the bullet doesn't shoot her in the leg, but it glazes her thigh. And then when that happens, it takes her down. So the bullet glazes her thigh, and she falls down. She's down, and before Flash approaches her, as if he's about to shoot her again, like he's finna murder this lady, Batman comes and he beats both of their asses. He beats up goddamn Bullock and Flash. So you just see a punching sequence with Batman fighting Detective Bullock and Detective Flash. And for whatever reason, Batman has feelings for Selena. They didn't even do nothing, but he has feelings for her, and he wraps up her wounds where the bullet shot her. And she thinks Batman is on her side, but then he basically reveals, like, no, bitch, you're handcuffed. She's handcuffed to a table, and she can't move. So she's pissed off, and that only gives the cops more time to arrest her. So the cops arrest her. So then we see Batman and a photographer in the alley, and they're talking. And the photographer tells Batman, I got the photos of Selena stealing the jewelry, but I also have the photos of you fighting the cops, um, which can make you look bad. And Batman honestly don't give a damn. He's just like, look, as long as you got those photos of her stealing the jewelry, I'm good. I want this bitch locked up and not seen again. So then the next scene is Selena, and she's at the police station, and she's on the phone with Greta. And she's telling Greta, like, all right, girl, you know how I be doing my shit. I'm arrested again for you know what. I need you to sell like the most expensive things in that apartment so that you can bail me out. And Greta is like, oh, Selena, don't worry about it. I already sold everything and I got rid of those cats because though bills needed to be paid and you haven't paid me in months, almost goddamn years. And she she tells Selena, so I'm getting paid, the apartment is empty. I don't know what you about to do, but I got a cruise that's leaving in an hour and I'm getting the fuck out of here. Selena shocked, mouth open, as it should, by bitch. So that's the end of her in this episode. So before the episode ends, Bruce and Alfred are discussing the recent events that just happened. And Alfred says the photos of him might cause trouble for Batman. Like, the police department is going to see that you were beating up cops, and that's not good for your reputation, especially if you're trying to fight crime and you trying to find some allies and you want the cops to be on your side. And Batman is basically like, I already know that was going to happen. That's why I honestly don't give a fuck. And it's not that bad because now they know I'm not fucking around. Ending credits. That's the end of episode 3. And that was a good episode. That might, so far out of the 3, that might be my favorite episode. I love Catwoman. I love the that we see the beginning of the Catwoman and Batman era for this series. As you know, as we all know, they in the future they become lovers and there's way more to their story. So this was a great beginning of an introduction to Catwoman. Um, so far, it's just so cool that we're being reintroduced to these reimagined characters in the Batman universe through this series. And we know continuing on, if there's going to be more seasons, we're going to see them again because none of these people stay in prison for too long. They always get out and they be back on their bullshit. So I'm definitely excited for that. We're going to continue to meet Batman's lovers. and Selena is just one of them. So that was a cool episode. We got to see Selena. We got to see more of the Harley Quinn before she turns into Harley Quinn. We just meet her as Dr. Quinzel, which is very cool. I'm going to continue to react to this series. Please, you guys, stay tuned. Follow me, like this, and share this. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify, and I should be on all the other podcast streaming services since I'm on Apple as well. Um, I'm going to end it right here. My name is Monty. Once again, Monty J. Thank you for tuning in, and catch me while I review episode 4 of Batman Caped Crusader. Damn, Batman Caped Crusader.